All right, class, welcome to the video. This is chapter 4, understanding the marketplace, and the customer value. Pretty much our marketing environment, right? And I'm going to go through the entire slideshow here, but I'm going to do it relatively quickly. So bear with me on this, okay? Let's talk about what we want to learn. Summarize the components of a company's marketing environment. There's a lot of things that are within our environment, and that is this is a very good topic to help us get beyond marketing as advertising. Okay. Describing the micro environment forces, and then also the macro environment forces and how they influence us, and discuss how companies can provide or be proactive, rather than reactive in responding to environmental trends. Okay, so I might not get too deep into all of that, but let's go ahead and dive into what I am going to dive into. All right, so marketing environment just consists of outside actors and forces that affect a company's ability to build, maintain, and sell, and build customer relationships and all that stuff. Marketing intelligence is collecting information on that environment, which you need to do. Now, we have a micro and a macro. Micro being small, macro being large, right? And we're going to talk about both of those. All right, so the major actors in the company's micro environment are suppliers, the company, marketing intermediaries, and we'll talk about those, competitors, customers, and publics. Okay, publics not necessarily customers, but people outside all of these other categories, but do have direct influence. Okay, and we're going to talk about that. Okay, so talk about competition. We think about competition. If I own a burger joint, I think about McDonald's being my competition. If I have a high-end burger joint, I think maybe of things like PT Grill and Oklahoma Grill and stuff like that. But there's many levels of competition, and this is a very good slide. We have the product form competition, product category competition, general competition, and budget competition. So let's talk about, we're doing the hamburgers thing. So if we're a quick service burger place, our direct product form, that is apples to apples. We're selling fast food burgers. Who is selling fast food burgers? That's our only competition, right? No, that is the product form competition. Okay. So if we're a fast food joint, maybe a chain, then our Burger King, Wendy's, those are our form. Okay. Burger joints. And then now we're going beyond that. We're going to go product category. Well, we're fast food, right? Or a quick bite or something like that. So now Taco Bell, Subway, and KFC. Because someone who goes for a burger, there are some who just said, hey, I'm going for a fast food burger and that's it. Others are just going a quick lunch. So fast food burger might be a choice. Tacos might be a choice. What do you want to eat? That's the question that everybody has, right? So then we have general competition. So the competition, the activity that we're selling, or the service that we're selling, is eating, right? Food. So maybe they don't even go to a restaurant. What are some other competitions? A grocery store, full service restaurants. They're not going to a fast food, but they need to eat. Primarily, they might start out with the idea of the fast food to our direct form competition, and then branch out from all that. And then they just need to eat, and they end up buying prepared food at the Family Dollar or whatever, right? So that's still competition. And then we have budget competition, all right? Especially in our industry, where a lot of our stuff, a lot of the products that are sold in our industry are not necessarily life and death needs, right? So if we're selling vacations or high-end resorts or something like that, part of that competition is paying the bills, right? Sending the kids to school, college money, all that stuff is competition, right? Because if it's taking money, it's like, okay, now there are irresponsible people out there. I've known many people. It's like, I can go out to eat or pay my bills. They go out to eat. Generally, it's what they do after eating that they make the decision on. But anyway, responsible people will say, okay, yeah, I want to go out to eat, but I can't afford it. So because I have these bills to pay, so I'm not going to do it. All right. So what's that got to do with the environment? And when we start going to outside influences, we'll talk about all that. All right. So moving forward, I really breezed through this slide, but this is a really cool concept to grasp. All right. So marketing intermediaries. Remember, we're going up here. We have our suppliers, a company, competitors, marketing intermediaries, and customers. So we just talked about competitors, suppliers. Uh, if that slide comes up, I'm going to breeze through it. Basically, the people that we get our stuff from. Now, but market intermediaries might not be intuitive. So these are people that help promote the company, help us sell things, help get customers to us, stuff like that. The biggest example of that for hotels would be the OTAs, your online travel agencies. They're also a distribution channel, but they also help you get people, right? So then you have financial intermediaries, banks, credit companies. They're going to help you achieve your goals. Marketing, research firms that you might hire, and then other partnerships and stuff like that. Now, the publics, these are part of our microenvironment, but these are financial publics, media, government, civil action, local, general, and internal. All right, so that's just all the other people and all the influences that they bear on us, right? Now, it's very similar to what when we're going to go into macro, but at a different scale. All right. So now the macro forces. Macro forces are major forces in the company's met a microvariate. So still competitive forces, demographic forces, economic forces, natural forces, technological forces, political forces, and cultural. Now you'll see that some of these were in the micro as well. But we're talking about a different scale. Okay, so demographics, the population size, density, location, age, gender, race, all that stuff has direct impact to our market and to our success. Generations, baby boomers, Gen X. Um, in this program, you're going to hear a lot of talk about the different generations and stuff. All right. There's an increasing diversity, ethnicity, ability, sexuality, race, politics, all that other stuff. Right? Changing American family. The American family is changing. All right. Um, one income families went to two income families about 40 years ago. That was a major change, but also the divorce rate and the the traditional family is not what it used to be. So that impacts our market. Geographic shifts in population, people moving one place to the other, that's going to impact our market. Changing education levels. Now, we always say that in the past was always education, that we have more educated people than we used to. Not all demographics now. Some demographics are actually reducing their education. So things we have to take into consideration. All right, economic environment. This is really, really important. It's not the best time in the world to open a comfort. Well, let me rephrase that. A novelty food restaurant in the middle of a recession or at the beginning of a recession. It's not a good. It's not a good thing. Now, unfortunately, it takes a long time to open a business, and a lot of people start when the economy is good, and then they end up opening the doors in the middle of it. And that's a totally different thing that they got to deal with. All right. Exchange rate. How is the U.S. dollar compared to others? Because we are now a global market, right? We have people from all over the world coming in. So if our dollar is very strong, we're going to, we might do very well with domestic market, but the international market might not do that well because people aren't coming. But that's like I said, this is macro stuff. This is way beyond just mom and pop stuff. Okay, natural environment. Is there a shortage of raw materials? Water, construction costs. There's different things that just all of a sudden these things are different than they used to be. Increased population, garbage, sewer, groundwater, littering, all things that we have to worry about for the natural environment that have impact. Natural-based tourism, nature-based tourism, sustainability tourism. Um, is that how does that impact us? Does it impact us at all? Does it impact us negatively because we're not associated with it, or are we jumping on that bandwagon, or maybe not jumping on the bandwagon, but we in a place, a physical place that this happens. Increased government indirection. That's huge. All right. During the middle of COVID, I was doing my graduate school, and I had to do a paper on different things and how COVID. I mean, it was a unique time to be getting your MBA because there was a massive case study being unfolded in so many different levels all around us. But when the economy started to get going, and a lot of hotels and everything started dying, or doing everything they can to get beyond it. New York State announced that they were considering a law, and I can't even remember what it was, but it was hugely impactful to hotels. About half of the city's hotels closed within a week after that. Half of the old ones, the big resort or luxury ones, they just closed. The legacy ones, you lost a lot of legacy hotels just for the threat of new regulation. All right, so it's a big deal. All right, let's see, technological environment, big thing, right? I mean, technology and how it impacts us is huge. A big thing right now is AI. How is it going to impact our industry? Well, in ways we don't even realize. In some ways that we think it's going to, it's not. Other ways that we think it's going or not going to, it will. So things you have to take a look at. It's all part of our environment, our macro environment, political environment, laws. We talked about that. Increased legislation and regulation. That I just mentioned that. Government agencies uh, being created or dissolved, whatever. The level of bureaucracy that we have to deal with, international politics, and reputation of a nation against another nation. All those things are part of our macro environment. Cultural environment, cultural values. If there's a shift in cultural values, uh, that's going to affect us, and we need to make sure that we're on track with that. We're not chasing things that are fads, and as far as cultural fads, points of view, and we're really identifying the things that are have staying power and are important. Uh, um, Okay, let's see. Environmental scanning. Just determine what the environmental areas you need to be monitored. Determine how the information will be collected. Just doing a quick research online might be. Implement data and collection plan. I need to find out these things. Analyze the data and use it in marketing planning process. All right. If I am planning and I'm doing a SWOT and everything like that, and there's one of those situations, political situations, where there is um, there is a bill in some level of legislative body, whether it's state or federal, that's going to have a huge impact for us. Well, that needs to be an opportunity or a threat. If the impact's going to be good or if the impact's going to be bad, we need to know that within our SWOT. Okay. Okay, so that's it. Very down and dirty. You're going to need to read the chapter. There's a lot of good information in there. I'll see you on the discussion and have a great week. And if you see this before, have a happy and safe Labor Day. Take care.